welcome to page 7, Second Helpings. My name is Jackie Zabrowski.
And I'm MJ. The story of the week is that Jackie's become a NOLANATOR. And your second helping of the week is KJ Appa's Media Blitz. Yes, this is a KJ Appa focused podcast now.
Yep.
You're welcome.
Specifically Second Helpings. Yeah, we know we keep them to the side because we know not everybody wants to be talking about KJ Appa as much as we want to talk about KJ Appa, because here's the craziest part of our current reality. And that is that people don't think about Riverdale enough. I think that if of everything that's been going on, put on Riverdale. I have a friend, maybe this is TMI, I have a friend that's going through a very difficult situation right now. And I straight up was like, bro, let me just let you know. I was like, I'm going to throw it out there. Riverdale or Real Housewives of New York started from the beginning. I was like, you need a show that can encapsulate. It was like, you need something that's on in the background. You need something that is not connected to anything that is currently going on. And you need something that you can leave behind. You know what I mean? And I feel like Riverdale is one of those shows that you could just be looking up and being like, wait, what? How many years did they time jump? Why do they have superpowers now? I think that there's so much that dysregulates you just by watching the show that it really helps you deal with a current really difficult situation.
I truly struggle with how to situate Riverdale in the pop culture landscape, because when we started talking about it, back when we were still doing the show with Marcus as our third host, and we started talking about it because season 1 was so good. I'm going to kiss them all. And at that time, I had other people in my life coming up to me and being like, have you watched the show Riverdale? My dad was watching Riverdale. My civil rights lawyer friend was watching Riverdale. Everyone was watching Riverdale. And I was like, let's talk about it. And that's why I think it made sense for us to talk about it so much on page 7 that it then became its own show. But then 7 years go by, and by the end, we're being interviewed, by, I think it was Vox, like, what's it like to be the only two people left watching Riverdale? And so
it felt
now,
good. It felt really good. Honestly, we saw it to the very end where they, spoiler, where they all eventually end up together. And isn't that what we were waiting for 7 seasons?
Shout out to me and Jackie, who are probably the only two people on earth who have Riverdale tattoos. And shout out to my 8-year-old who noticed when I showed the kids us on YouTube, said, hey, Jackie has the same tattoo as you. And I said, yeah, we got them together.
I love that you taught them about matching tattoos because of our matching Riverdale tattoos. And I know that now is not the time. You don't explain it to an 8-year-old that, like, really you don't get a, forget it, Jughead, it's Riverdale tattoo. Like, you don't. But yeah, if you have a hit show like we did talking about Riverdale, you're gonna.
Yeah, it's hard to explain to kids that, like, some things aren't mistakes, but you wouldn't do them again, or you would do them again, but they are mistakes. It's I don't know whether I would recommend doing this or not to my children, but yeah. So here now, seeing this KJ Appa, and I know it's probably not as viral as it seems on my algorithm because everybody is sending it to me. KJ Appa's interview with Dylan Sprouse, and I'm wondering, wow, people care about KJ Appa. I truly thought that nobody cared about Riverdale. And here we are. It took me embarrassingly long, I will say, to realize that this podcast interview is with Dylan and not Cole.
Sprouse. Yeah.
I thought that Cole kept referring to himself in the third person.
He was like, which would have made sense for Cole Sprouse.
I was like, that's the thing. I'm like, that's totally something an actor would do. When Cole walks in the room, things are going to change. And I was like, wow, Cole Sprouse refers to himself in the third person. And then I was like, oh, it's his identical twin.
Yeah. He's Dylan. The one. Because I also would throw it out there. Cole Sprouse, I don't take him as a podcaster. I think that right out the gate, that Cole Sprouse doesn't want to be talking to anybody. And it really was delightful to see KJ Appa. Now, unfortunately, MJ, I think people continue to not care about Riverdale. I think that the people care about Mr. Fantasy, and I think that, hate to break it to you, I think it might be the Mr. Fantasy of it all, of why he's going on the tour right now, and not because there's just a rehashing of people.
It's not about Riverdale. You know what? That makes more sense to me. To me,
he's on tour right now, MJ. I think that's what's going on.
I know, but as I struggled through last week, I can't figure out who cares about Mr. Fantasy and why. I'm so surprised to learn that it's young people.
Hello, I'm a human being, MJ. Treat me as such.
Like, cares enough to get a ticket.
Greatly.
I looked up tickets. I'm going to do it again while we're on the air because somebody messaged me. No, Bobina messaged me. It was like, have you gotten tickets? Hi, Bean. Have you gotten tickets to Mr. Fantasy? And I said, no, when I looked last week, they were like $150. Who likes KJ Appa and Mr. Fantasy enough to spend $150?
Adam, I don't want to ask. I don't want to ask Adam.
but then Bobina said
how much they were.
Bobina said when she was looking, they were much cheaper. They were like $60-$70. So this might be the New York City bump up, or I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. But I'm baffled. This is a news cycle. I'm going to call it a news cycle, and it's baffling me.
But I did love the conversation. I mean, I didn't love the conversation, but fascinating conversation that these men were having on the podcast. You know, I don't usually say that about, you know, and especially looking at Dylan Sprouse talking to KJ Appa, although I really feel very differently about Dylan Sprouse than I do about Cole Sprouse.
That's the thing.
It seems like he's a wife guy. I think that he makes his own beer as if he is 20 years older than he actually is. Like, I thought it was like, that's what you did 20 years ago when you lived in Greenpoint. I didn't even know people still made their own beer.
Yeah, and this is the podcast, by the way, if people have not been, if you don't have the same algorithm as me, it is Wild Men, which Dylan Sprouse hosts with Brendan Columbus. And it is a conversation, which again, I thought for the whole week was Cole Sprouse with KJ Appa, which would make sense, but it's the brother. But it's them talking about KJ Appa's time on Riverdale and what a hard time he was having. And it's not that I'm like happy to hear this per se, but it was a good,
honest conversation, though.
Absolutely. And because it exists in this weird realm where it's like people are like, oh, yeah, remember that fever dream? And because like none of them have really become like stars amongst other
Poor
actors.
Cami Mendes. I really feel like Cami Mendes thought Masters of the Universe was like going to skyrocket her, but I don't think it did, babe. I know, sorry.
And poor Lily Reinhart. Lily Reinhart is such a great actress. Like, and I know that she's done some work and stuff, but I
have not seen. Speaking of Forbidden Fruits, which apparently is awesome. I have heard it is like a more contemporary version of The Craft, and it is sexy lady witches, and that's all I know, and that Lily Reinhart is in it. And I have been tingling to watch it, and I've been told that it's a lot of fun.
That's great. I love this. And so to hear KJ Appa process his time during Riverdale. And also, crucially, Riverdale went, through the pandemic. It started in like 2017 and then it ended in like 2022, maybe 2022, 2023. So who can know how many years it was because there was a time jump, you guys. So time
multiple
operates
time
differently.
jumps, MJ.
There was a
there's
7-year
one forward,
run.
then there was one back, and then there was like there was the meteor, and then there was the
there was a 7-year time jump. And so every time I want to say it ran for 7 years, I'm like, or am I just thinking of the number of years of the time?
No, it is 7 years of time jump, 7 years of seasons. It is
lucky
the same.
Number 7.
Yes.
Okay, that's fine. But so KJ Appa is in conversation with Dylan Sprouse and the other co-host, and they are talking about what a really hard time KJ was having on. Yes, we're on a first name basis now. KJ was having on set, and they were in Vancouver. They were like holed up, because of the pandemic, and apparently he was struggling a lot with like body image stuff, disordered eating, and also a lot of drugs.
Yes, and he's been sober now for a year and a half, and he said, anything that makes me feel good, I will abuse. It's something that I've learned about myself, even eating. My relationship with eating, especially on that show, was bad. And he goes on to detail, and honestly, the kind of conversation I feel we don't always see specifically between men talking on a show of him opening up about his disordered eating and of course, we know it's 2026. We all have body image issues. I know that we all understand this is not a gendered idea, but the idea of talking about it and sharing these low moments for him, I thought was really beautiful. And he was trying to explain that, like, you know, I had the 8-pack abs, but he was so obsessive about it. And you look at Mr. Fantasy, and I mean, I'm not above it. I was the one. I want to say thank you so much to someone that hit me up on Instagram that was like, I was at the Nashville show. I have a surprise for you, because I had just read the headline that he performed most of the Nashville show in just his underpants. And I want to thank you so much for sending me the video of him taking off his pants. And then, but then all I could think about was this conversation of how hard he is. And like, I was making so many jokes last week of him just being like, my abs. But also, he works very hard for that body. And so you're right, show it off, babe. But then I just kept thinking about how he really feels and how he has struggled for so long about his body as well.
Totally. I totally agree that this is like such a refreshing thing to see. Like at this point in our culture, anytime two men are talking to each other and it's nice, I'm like, standing ovation.
Wow.
Good job. Yes.
Wow.
Yes. Yay. Like same with the Pete Davidson, John Cena conversation. I was like, look at these men sharing their feelings with each other.
They can do it, even though we know that they can. We all
of course they can.
We all have men in our lives that are good at emotionally communicating.
Oh, of course, this is not an indictment of men. It's an indictment of the media landscape that elevates certain types of men.
Yes.
Totally. No, men, you're great. Okay, you're doing great. And you need more support. And I love this, that we're opening up and talking about it. Just don't go down that path. You know, go down listen to Dylan Sprouse's podcast, I guess. And yeah, I also was... To him talking about the eating disorder stuff, because you're right, it's not something we hear from men a lot, especially like big muscly men. And it is interesting to think that he's still there, is out there on stage, kind of the main punchline of his act being, this is my body.
How hot I am. And like that,
Right.
I know, it seems at least, hopefully, the way in which he's talking, I'm hoping he's in therapy of some sort to like think about that, to talk about that, but also makes more sense of his alter ego and separating himself a little bit more from who he is. Like all of it makes more sense.
Embodying a character, if you are very much struggling with yourself and who you are, does make so much sense. And when he was talking about, and I know, you know, we have, mid to lower than mid feelings about Cole Sprouse here at Page 7 because of the things we've heard about how he treated Lily Reinhart, how he acted when he was at
Lily
NYU.
Reinhart in this house.
Will die for Lily Reinhart, and, you know, just a lot of kind of bad rumors about Cole Sprouse. But in the conversation with Dylan, KJ says, you know, your brother punched me once, and it was because I was like way out of control. We were at a strip club in Vancouver, and I was like way out of control. I think he said with drugs. I don't know if it was alcohol and drugs, but he was like, I was just using substances in a way that was really unhealthy and unsafe. And Cole wanted me to stop, and he punched me.
Him.
And I was like, Are we gonna say thank you, Cole Sprouse? Is that what we would call a loving, affectionate masculinity? I don't know.
You know, you wish that there was a way in which you could talk to him in a different. But I guess, you know, if you're losing your shit and you're at a strip club and you need it to stop. Not that we support that here, but I mean, sometimes you need it to stop. And man, that is a real quick wake up call of this has to stop.
Yeah. I think we've all been in a situation where we want to like grab a friend by the shoulders and be like, you can't keep doing this.
You cannot. But I also, you know, I find it fascinating too. I don't want to trigger anyone. I don't want to get too far into what he was sharing about his disordered eating. But I do. I just remember specifically this Lindsay Lohan fact from like us that like we used to make jokes about many years ago, that she used to pour water all over her food or salt all over her food so that she wouldn't eat it, so that she like that was part of her disordered eating. And part of it was that at one point he would piss all over the food so that he wouldn't eat it. And
he like ordered a bunch of food and then pissed on a bunch
pissed
of it
all
so that
over it so that he wouldn't eat it, and then like was talking about like to that level of like sharing this, and then talking about how later on he thought and went back to like pick around it, and like and Lindsay Lohan was so made fun of for her talking about her at the time disordered eating, but we weren't looking at it as such.
Right.
And because that was many, many years ago.
Much
and
less
now,
compassionate. She had a much less compassionate experience about everything that she went through.
That I am at least kind of, now I'm not proud of the people on the internet because I'm sure everybody's got something to say, but like that for the most part, the headlines are like, thank you, KJ Apa, for talking about this rather than being like, he pissed on it and ate the piss. You know, like I feel like that 15 years ago, all the headlines would have been he pissed on it and then he ate the piss. You know what I mean? Like I think, and I'm glad that it's not that.
Like the way that Perez Hilton would talk about Britney, you know, and would talk like that era, the 2010 era of just like, look at this fucking drunk idiot with an eating disorder. And I think that, poor Lindsay, I think now we've come around to talk, like we talk a lot on this show about Britney and how Britney was treated. And I think that Lindsay is totally a casualty of that era too, where we were just like pointing and laughing at a young person who was like obviously struggling. And so, I mean, I do think it's really, really great that KJ Apa is talking about this, right, from the point of view of him being a man, from the point of view of him being a celebrity. And also, I don't know if this, I'm thinking of like what was in my mind a kind of cultural turning point for talking about disordered eating and eating disorder stuff. I really feel like Jeanette McCurdy's I'm Glad My Mom Died was a huge, huge moment in like mass discourse
media,
for like how we talked about disordered eating, because it was such a devastating and very personal account of it that I feel like it changed how we talk about child stars. And it also, I think, helped add a little bit more compassion and like about how we talk about disordered eating and
as a whole.
Culture. I might be wrong. Yeah.
I hope it did. You know, it does for people like us, and I think for a lot of people that listen out there. And I do think that there's going to be horrible trolls that live under bridges that are always clickety clackety, clickety clackety, and they're always going to exist. But guys, you know, we are all getting better. Okay, we're growing and we're learning. Okay.
Real quick before we move on from the topic of Riverdale, which we could do for the whole hour.
You want to keep talking about Riverdale? I'll keep talking about Riverdale.
I want to just shout out a comment on the Instagram post featuring this conversation between KJ Apa and Dylan Sprouse and the other guy, because there was this.
Don't care. Don't look like the other one. Don't care.
Brendan Columbus. We love you, Brendan. But the comment is, Cole lived right beside me for 2 years in Vancouver. We shared a wire fence on the deck, which he called through every time he saw me. Good morning, which startled me every time. Chattiest, friendliest neighbor I've ever had. Sure do miss him.
Wow.
And no, that does not exonerate him from being a dirty dog to Lily Reinhart. But I did
a dirty dog.
Having a little comment in the wild of him be like, Great guy. Nice guy.
That's good. I think that is good. I think it's also like, it's the kind of thing where he would like light up a cigarette during an interview where you're like, okay,
right. I
you're
don't
on
think that
Riverdale. Okay. I think that's where it still lives within me of that, like, where he's like, I'm anti-establishment. It's like, okay, well, you're on the CW. There's only so much you can, you know.
As far as I know, on the scale of Badman, I think he is at the level of dirty doggy. He's more than the level of Gations. I don't know if we got Gations.
No, there's none. It's more just he's just a dirty doggy.
Dirty
doggy. He's just not. I think he's just a young man.
He's been famous since he was a child, and that's gotta mess with you.
Yeah, you know, I think that he's just probably screwed up, and I guess we'll give him the benefit of the doubt. But do we give the benefit of the doubt to the two paparazzi? I have to bring up this story. I randomly saw it that Jennifer Garner was talking about that, and this really does open up the discourse, like the paparazzi discourse, because Jennifer Garner said that there has been two paparazzi that have been following her for 25 years.
The same
Every day.
two. The same two assigned to her. Like the Jennifer Garner beat.
And she's essentially saying that's a lot of most celebrities, like every single day, have people following them. But could you imagine where it's like, you think Jennifer Garner?
That's the thing. I'm like, no shade to Jennifer Garner, but are we buying pictures of Jennifer Garner for $50,000?
Think about it, but it has to do with the memeability of Ben Affleck. She is inextricably linked with Ben Affleck, who does give us donkeys memes, and they interact enough because they co-parent and because they're also, it just seems, friends as well. And so I think that they follow her to make sure that if anything happens, it is gotten. But this is also part of this current PR story of her talking about a time when Jennifer Garner went to bat for her children because these paparazzi had pushed her out of the way to get pictures of her children when she was trying to shield her children. And then she and Halle Berry worked to enact these laws that help protect children from paparazzi. And so Jennifer Garner was talking about the interesting relationship she has with these two people because they're assigned to her. She sees them every single day. They follow
part
her
of her life
everywhere
every
she
day.
goes.
For 25 years. So she's like, yeah, I kind of like them sometimes. And sometimes I've even been in a different dangerous situation where I go to them for help.
I go to them for help because they're always there.
My life. But yeah, this is also on a podcast, the Shut Up Evan podcast. And yeah, this was so fascinating because she's talking about and you're right. It's not only that Jennifer Garner, yes, we all love Alias, but it's not, she says that the particular obsession with her was also because she was with the kids. She said they weren't following Ben as much sometimes as they were following her because pictures of kids, celebrity kids, for so long, especially her kids are all teenagers now. So remember, again, go back to Perez Hilton time 10 years ago. It was bad, right? And we're evaluating whether or not celebrity kids are ugly, And so she said that they were
bring it back. Actually, you know what? I take I wouldn't mind calling the kids ugly. I'd be fine. Some of them gotta be taken out at the knees, right up top. They gotta know you were an ugly baby. Okay.
When two beautiful people have a baby, you want to talk about whether the baby is ugly or not.
Have you ever had a friend, instinct. Two people, and then you see the baby, and you're just like, but you have to be like, oh, wow, I love that it's changing colors. Wow, it doesn't look like a lizard. Whoa, that's a human baby right there.
I've never seen an ugly baby in my life, Jackie. I don't know what you're talking about.
I have. I've seen a couple on my day. But you keep your mouth shut, okay? Right? Us child-free, we keep our mouth shut.
You don't go to the paps and give a picture of an ugly baby. But so she said that they would, we're not surprised by this. We read Brittany's memoir and what happened with her and her boys, but she's talking about her kids can't play soccer because the 20 cars are in the parking lot. She can't go through a yellow light because it could cause a pileup because the cars following her are going to go through the red then. There are 15 cars outside her child's school at dismissal. A level of disruption that it does make me think of Hilaria Baldwin's claim that she takes pictures of her kids so that the paps...
Exactly. I don't think
the paps won't take pictures of them. I don't buy that because you are now still putting images of your children all over the internet for other people to exploit them. So I don't buy it, but it is
and putting out the names of their schools and stuff like that.
Yeah,
so that
them
we're
with their camp shirts with the camp locations on them. Speaking of Hilaria, by the way, when we talk TV later, I need to talk about Nation's Dumbest. Which,
have you started watching it? Have you started watching it, dude?
I did.
How dumb is she? How dumb is she?
She is dumb, and it's really
dumb.
It's sad.
Oh,
it's sad.
She is dumb.
This show is going to cause ego death for so many. And Andrew Yang is having a mental health crisis on the first episode because he's like, I'm smart. And fails the first challenge.
Is it are you smarter than a fifth grader? Is it 7 times 5. Like, is it one of those?
It's like, what if we took Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader and then added like that? Remember that show where you have to like make your body the same shape as the hole, otherwise you get knocked into a pit of slime. Great show, by the way. But it's like
Not only do they, he's like, you gotta be dumb and you gotta be ready to get hurt in some stupid challenges because you old and dumb.
Yeah, like one of the challenges was they had like a big board like on the floor, like a large room-sized board of different pictures of animals.
Okay.
And the challenge was like, we're gonna like find an animal that lays eggs. And then they would have to run and fight each other to get to an animal that laid
like
eggs.
combat juggling? Like what kind of fighting are they doing? Are they like pushing each other?
Yeah, they're just pushing and shoving. And and then there and then
I don't know, put them in a pit and make them fight. I don't know, throw a couple dogs in there.
Most of the celebrities did know what animals laid eggs. Many of them were far too proud of themselves for knowing. This one influencer guy, I have to look up his name.
I know a bird lays eggs. Like, is that?
Exactly. He's like, I'm going to go to chicken because I know for sure that they lay eggs. And it's like, oh, sweetie. And then one of them was name it an animal that's a carnivore. And one of the celebrities went to a gorilla and was like, I've just seen so many pictures of gorillas ripping animals apart. I think they eat tigers. And they don't.
No, they don't eat tigers. No,
so
they don't eat tigers.
The first challenge was this thing where there was like...
we would be talking about it if the gorillas were out there ripping tigers to death. I think that we would be I think we'd know that information if they were just ripping them limb from limb.
There was a question. Charles Darwin is responsible for the theory of what? And like they didn't know. Several of them did not know. And then the first challenge, the one that really killed Andrew Yang's ego, and I look forward to him spiraling out of control further, is there was like 2 like pieces of rope that you could not reach both.
Okay.
And then there was like a pile of items in the middle, and it was like make it so that you can figure out a way to solve this logic problem so you can reach both pieces of rope. And
like
the secret. The secret was that you have to tie something heavy to one rope, swing it, and then that way you can hold it, and then you reach the other one. And Hilaria did not get it. Andrew Yang did not get it. I think Ice-T got it. I think JoJo Siwa got it. It's fun,
you haven't even said the name JoJo Siwa yet. Like, how are we? Like, how's she doing? She pretended to be this version of her.
It's tough for her because she did not go to school, but which
is not her fault.
It's not her fault. They were like, oh, JoJo is homeschooled. They made a joke like JoJo's homeschooled, so the set is like a classroom. So they're like, this might be new to you, a classroom, and everyone laughs, which it's a pretty good joke. But she, I think, got a question right. Carmen Electra is there. She's the one who thought gorillas eat tigers.
Yeah, we've got Drew Pinsky. Whoa, you have Napoleon Dynamite on the show.
The funniest moment of the show is that Napoleon Dynamite walks in and says hi, and he just looks like some guy. He said like, hey, how's everybody doing? And Ice-T immediately goes, that's Napoleon Dynamite.
That's the only thing he knows on the show. He knows that that's Napoleon Dynamite. He knows his fellow cast members. Yeah.
Yes. Steve-O is there.
Yes.
And
Elle King is there.
Melt first. Yes, Elle King, Rob Schneider's daughter, who drunkenly messed up the performance for Dolly Parton, which she does bring up. She brought it up, and she said she regrets it. So
this is her comeback tour? This is it? It's Nation's Dumbest?
Yeah, Dr. Drew is there. Fuck him. Anthony Michael Hall. Yay. Hilaria.
Are they all there's a lot of people to get it right, or are they competing to be dumber? Like, do you get kicked off because you're smart, or do you get kicked off because you're dumb?
It's the first one, I think. I think the idea is that you don't want to win. I think if you
want to be smart,
you're dumb. But I don't know what the prize is. And
just
so
it's just a dunce hat. It's just, well, I guess now you get to forever just let your tongue hang out of your mouth. And JoJo's like, I was already there. You know.
This dunce hat has $75,000 in it.
if you eat the whole dunce hat, yes, it is made out of plastic. And they're just like them, like, I'll do anything for it. The microplastics are already in there.
And Hilaria
Anthony Michael Hall?
Yeah, he's we love him. I think. I don't know if he became weird, but I certainly love young Anthony Michael Hall. But Hilaria introduced herself as, I became famous because I forgot the word cucumber. And girl, that is not why you became famous. Mm-mm. Her level of denial is admirable. Like, she has just rewritten the story. She's like, it's not because I faked being Spanish. It's because I have ADHD and I forgot the word cucumber. And she just keeps talking.
Unwritten. Yeah, bitch. Keep listening to that song. All right, it is. No, it's written out there, girl, and we know the truth. We hear, but here's the thing, MJ. A lot of people don't care about Ilaria the way that we seem to be hung up on her. But that's where I think that we have to be to remind everybody that listens that an evil exists out there. Like, I feel like this is the kind where, you hear about the first on Buffy. I feel like this is part of this kind of like hellmouth existence that we have right now. And maybe I have been referring to my butthole as a hellmouth ever since the poooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooo think that that's what poo-poo fruits and poo-poo vegetables are coming from, is really a hellmouth. And if we can blame the hellmouth, we can close it.
There's no
we
question
can close
that
it. If it's a hellmouth, we can close it. So someone can close it, and so Hilaria just came out of it, and she's just a demon.
I mean, watching this show, yes, I did have laughs. And also, you could literally write this premise of a show into a dystopian novel to signify like a falling empire. You know, you're like, just get a bunch of C-list celebrities and humiliate them publicly to show them that they don't know anything. And that's the show. And that is the show.
You are saying this to a woman that currently has another tab open with just Love Island UK that has just been playing. Poor Adam, our producer, like I just have it on in the background at all times.
Why? Are you trying to give him extra views? Why are you leaving it on?
Because I'm trying to, I'm not leaving it on right now. I mean, like in the background, because it's the Idiot Aquarium. And I'm feeling chicky. And sometimes I'm mugged off, MJ. Sometimes I feel mugged off. And I've got to watch Love Island UK, MJ. And then poor Adam just hears he just hears that as he walks down the hallway into the room. And that's how he knows I'm here in the morning. Is if you hear the lilting voices of accents further away in the studio somewhere.
Yeah, I maintain that it's more fun to watch British people be dumb and slutty.
You're right.
Americans.
Everybody was right. I love Love Island UK. I knew that I was going to love it. I'm obsessed with Robin, and I think that she's perfect, even though she just keeps giving kisses. But she wants to hook up with the boy that she wants to choose, but other women keep choosing him, and she wants to choose George. She wants to be with George, so she keeps trying to be cheeky. She keeps trying to give him kisses outside of challenges.
Do they have movie night and karaoke night and all these same events? Is it like
new.
We're talking about?
I'm new, bro. I don't know. I don't know if it's the same. I'm learning and I'm growing, and I want everyone to hit me up with their own Love, because Love Island UK is still going, MJ.
Does it capture the nation's, our nation's, heart as much as Love Island US did? Are people obsessing about it the way that every headline? I know that every headline technically is about Summer House, and I know that ship has sailed, and I know that we should have watched it, and I know I didn't, and I'm sorry, but every headline previously this summer was about Love Island US, so Love Island UK has filled that vacuum.
Fills it. It really fills it. It fills it right up, and it's just having it on in the back, and I was like, I'm just gonna absorb all of this, and I will report back, MJ, because the thing is that they're just the diehards of both. And there are the diehards that are just like, US will never be UK. And there's a lot of that feeling, way more than there is the feeling the opposite direction. But it is really fascinating, though, immediately seeing the difference of how red-pilled the men are from the Love Island US versus the dirty dogs of Love Island UK. And
Really,
there's
the UK men are less explicitly misogynist, or
yes, and also I feel like there's so much more. There's not as much shaming about exploring and about kisses but also for the Love Island US, the first challenge I was telling you guys about, like with the doors, and then they're like, they're like swallowing each other's faces before they even know each other's names. But it's just not like it's not performative making out in the same way. Like watching the US, watching them specifically make out, I was like, who is telling you guys to do that? Like, I have jokingly tried to do it with my husband, and I'm trying to like put my mouth on as much of his face as possible, and like I'm trying to do what they do, and I'm like, that can't be fun. And how can you kiss someone like that and be like, he's a good kisser? Is he? Like, is that like you guys know I'm not a prude. So watching Love Island UK, it's not as like forced sexual and also not as shameful. Like, I feel like in the US, they force the sexuality as well as shame it. And that is such a paradox. You know what I mean? Like, that's like, what are you talking about? But in the UK, it's just not quite that way.
I was going to say, maybe they don't know how to kiss because this is the generation that missed prom and graduation.
Their high school. Yeah, it is possible that no one taught them how to kiss. Get those hands out, y'all, because I can fit my whole fist in my mouth. Does that mean I'm a good kisser? Like, should I put that on an app?
But that wouldn't explain why in the UK they are less bad at it. That is curious. British listeners, please sound off. Do you have an explanation for why Love Island UK slightly less gross regarding sexuality and shame than US? Really, that's actually a very, very compelling question.
Really is. But I also, and I was saying this at Adam earlier though, but across both of them, what you do see and what you love to see is that the women are not cat scratching at each other. It is all like, I understand that you had to kiss him outside the challenge, and I understand that we all explored it, and like, but like they all pick each other and they go for chat then, and it's like, oh, let's talk about it, and then they talk it out, and I love, you love to see bitches up on bitches, like we love that, we love it. This
has been such a huge shift in reality TV, where it used to be women against each other, and somewhere along the line, the ladies got the memo that it's the enemy is man.
Dirty dogs.
So much to the extent that even when you have like a very clear villain, like Francesca from the Netflix, from Perfect Match and stuff, who's trying to be a villain, the other women will be like, I think it's the men, like they do not want to throw women under the bus, and I love that. I think let's unite against the men, fellas. It's just like Francesca is like scheming to destroy their lives. But yes, I'm happy that you found another villa, even if it is a transcontinental villa. And I think, Jackie, that while we're talking TV, you have to tell me
NOLANATOR has arrived. Excuse me. Get to the chopper. The NOLANATOR is here.
Everyone's talking about the Odyssey. Everyone's saying, "Oh, I wish I had been a classics major, I understood the Odyssey."
Wow.
Tell me, you saw it. We loved it.
Can we just say, if you don't know about the Odyssey at this point, where you been? You know what I mean? Like, I feel like we know overall. I
know the gist. Yeah,
Daddy's coming home, and it's been a long time since Daddy's been home, and there are so many conversations.
Jackie is an English, as a classics professor.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it took him a long time, but Daddy, he coming home, right? I just keep asking, like, you have to finish the book, Jackie. You'll find out if you finish. I did keep making those, like, I kept going, when is he going to say "do"? Because it's written by Homer. Jeff loved that joke, and I kept leaning over going, "No!" But he couldn't hear me saying "no" because it was so loud. So don't worry. You can make any Homer joke you want while watching the Odyssey. No one will hear you scream. It's so loud. It's just so loud. But MJ, of course, I get wrapped up. Now, I'm talking about being a Nolanator because I was talking about Zendaya being in love with Interstellar. I realized I'd never seen Interstellar. And then the more Adam and I talked, I realized I think I've only seen Memento and The Prestige. And I was like, I guess
think I'm also a Memento, primarily a Memento Nolanator.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I also love The Prestige. So I was like, you know what? I've been hearing so much about this guy. I should probably check out a couple of these other things. Because we started watching
Dark Knight. I've seen Dark Knight for sure.
Yes, Dark Knight. There's the Butmans, he's got many different kinds of movies.
Yeah.
And we had the opportunity over this last week. So we saw the Odyssey. I really genuinely liked it a lot. It is really crazy that the more Nolanator movies that I watch, he doesn't know what to do with a woman on screen. Oh, wow. He really is like to have Charlize Theron as Calypso. It's like who's supposed to be like a sex goddess on a beach. And every moment of her is just her like stare, and she has more clothes on than I've ever seen her have on. It's like you're supposed to be a sex goddess that has kept him on this beach for like years under this like lotus drug, and you both have so many clothes on. It's just make it sexy at least. And Anne Hathaway, she was killing it, and she does great with it, but I kept we were making jokes, and then I also saw that even Robert Pattinson and Anne Hathaway were making jokes because she's supposed to be looming this loom time for forever, being like, and once thou is finished, I will choose a new husband, but it's been 20 years, bitch, and you really haven't gotten a lot done on that loom. And I just feel like there's that conversation of what does she do with the loom? Nobody's asked her about, she hasn't finished the fucking loom in fucking 20 years, but she was killing it, and the more I hear about it is crazy. MJ, it's crazy what Christopher Nolan can get away with, what they give him so much money to do. And everything you hear, I will say, good for him, because he's being given the money to do it. But to hear about, that you are helicoptering in these huge IMAX cameras to only shoot 3 minutes at a time, and then you have to restart. And it's such a huge movie that has got to be so annoying. But then you hear about scenes where there's for example, and every scene is like this. You find out all this information. For example, there's a scene where all of these soldiers come out of this black sand, and they're ripping through the black sand because they were all buried underneath the sand. And in the scene that Christopher Nolan shot, he took all the stunt performers. This is not CGI. He buried all of them in wet sand with a snorkel coming up so they could breathe. And then before they did the shot, they run through, they rip out the snorkels, they start a timer to make sure that the stunt people don't die underneath the wet sand, so that they can pull themselves out. So this is the level of what Christopher Nolan is doing. And to make a movie that's just an example of what he put into this ridiculously huge movie that he made.
Man, the two wolves inside me are anything that is practical and not CGI is good, and don't do something that could kill actors. Hard to reconcile those two wolves,
But it is also so funny because watching these interviews with Tom Holland, who was shooting Spider-Man as he was also shooting the Odyssey, and he was going back and forth, and apparently it broke his brain because Christopher Nolan does everything so practically, and everything is thought out. And then Tom Holland would show up on the Spider-Man, and everything's CGI, and nothing is real,
green, yeah.
and they're not in any spaces. And he's like, people show up on set, and then they decide how it's gonna go on set. Christopher Nolan has been planning every second of every day for years to do this. And so he's bringing this viewpoint of back to Spider-Man, just being some of this has to be practical. We got to make some of this practical. What are you talking about?
Wow.
And so we have been simultaneously, which has been fascinating. So this week we watched Interstellar. and we watched Inception, and we saw the Odyssey. But then we also watched Spider-Man Homecoming and Spider-Man Far From Home, and watched both of those because we're getting ready for the next Spider-Man that's coming out.
Which are both, I mean, I am married to somebody who will who enjoys all three Spider-Mans, loves them all, absolutely adores. But we both loved all the Tom Holland Spider-Man movies so far.
Love them. And I hadn't really, I thought I had seen them. I mean, I've been rewatching them. Like, I guess, yeah, I did see this. I don't remember any of it. But I am really enjoying Tom Holland, and he's such a little juvie. And I just, even in the first one, I was just like, you're supposed to be with Zendaya. You don't love this other bitch. Bring in Zendaya. But I screamed my way through it. But it is fascinating to watch. Like, Jeff and I have been getting lost in like a worm time of watching, I forget the name of the channel, these VFX guys watching CGI through, like this is a huge YouTube channel that I should know the name of these people, but that they go through other like CGI movies and break it down and like show like what's good CGI and what's bad CGI. And I've been starting to really look for things like that to see how things affect and it's so. The Spider-Man movies are so good. So it's like if you watch that level of CGI, it's so cool. But then to back watch, like, have you seen Interstellar or Inception?
I'm like looking at his list to be like, what have I seen? I have not seen Inception. I feel like I've seen Interstellar, but it's one of those where I'm like, maybe I took 2 tall boy cans into a theater and saw Interstellar with some friends, and I do not remember.
Possible. It is very possible. It's definitely those kind of movies that I had said to Adam and Sam watching it that I was like, if I had seen this movie when I was 15, like, I get why Zendaya's like, these movies, because, and I really appreciated the conversation because Adam is, a director and knows so much. And like, I love having these talks with him about this stuff that's like, these are mass appeal, like mind benders. It's like, it is made for the masses, but it's cool to give people that don't usually watch movies where you go, aha, at the end, that I was like, I get it. Where it's like, there's just enough faux science here where I understand what's going on. Aha, deeper into the dreams are we going, and by
Memento,
end,
when I saw Memento in college, I was like, fuck yeah.
Bro,
so you're right. It has
you
to do
watch
with,
Inception, and
okay.
I recognize, though, I was like, why wasn't I getting obsessed with these movies? And it's because of the annoying men in our 20s that were Nolanators. And of it's all coming back, it's all coming, just going on these like OkCupid dates where they're just like, I don't know if you understood when he spins the thing and he's in dream, and sometimes when he spins the thing, and it's like, so all of these movies have been ruined for me and have been explained to me by men that I didn't want to watch them.
Yeah, Memento definitely goes into that category too, where it's like, I love that movie, and if you like it, you're sus. If you're a man, it's like...
I think if you're a Nolanator, you also are sus. And I feel bad. I'm sorry, this is, I guess, my genderist episode today, that I feel that I was like, if it were women that were screaming about they were Nolanating at me, why do you think Zendaya is the one that got me to watch the freaking Nolanator movies?
Sometimes you need to have the message. Sometimes it's just based on the messenger. And it's true that sometimes a good piece of art will be appreciated by people who you want to have nothing to do with, and that will impact your relationship with the art. And then when a beautiful, amazing, intelligent person tells you about the same thing, you might be more open to it. I think that's a real phenomenon.
You are right. And especially, God, I'm not gonna name drop the person, but it was the person that it was like, you always ruined every. I think about how many movies this dude ruined for me. And I'm just like, God, you just, every time you loved something, you made me hate it. And I'm not even talking about my ex. I'm talking about just a friend of mine that's no longer a friend. It is just, I understand. And also with Interstellar, I see I'm not going to make the jokes that I was making about something that goes on in the movie because they're not perfect movies. I was making jokes about Interstellar. I was definitely making some jokes by the end. And I've got a phrase that I'm not going to say because it would ruin the movie for you. And I'm not going to be the person that ruins the Nolanator movies for you guys.
Did you like Oppenheimer?
No. I thought Oppenheimer, see, this is the thing. I thought it was just really loud and fast talking men, talk about the bomb, fast talking men. And I just thought it was just that. And I love Cillian Murphy. Like, I mean, but that was Inception, bro. You got to watch Inception, bro.
Yeah, I do have to watch Inception. It has several men that I want to kiss.
Yeah.
Between 3 and 4, 5 even. Not my cocaine, but yeah, no, I should watch. I have no interest in becoming a Nolanator, but I'm not anti. I'm not anti, and I like having at least some literacy to be able to talk about the movies that everybody is talking about, which is why I do want to see Interstellar and Inception because we're in a Nolan renaissance right now.
Because I will throw it out there, at least I've heard, and I am saying this as a person that hasn't seen it. I'm not going to watch Tenet. I've heard everything about Tenet. I have no desire to watch Tenet. I've already seen Oppenheimer. I don't really care.
Didn't like Tenet.
And lots of people had a lot to say about Tenet and how much they didn't like it. And I'm just like, you know what? If it's 2.5, because they're all 2+ hours long, tell me it's a good one. And guys, Interstellar, Inception, Odyssey, those are good ones, all right? Prestige, Memento, those are good ones.
Yeah.
I'm not saying Oppenheimer is a bad way. It's just I wasn't that into it. Like I also
not your type.
It wasn't
movie.
my type of fast talking bomb men.
Yeah, you know? That makes sense. Well, I mean, I'm glad that you had fun. Were there other movies that you saw this week, or was it were you mostly down the Nolan train?
We were really Nolanating pretty hard. We have been, and you know what? I haven't even brought it up. In the weeks we have been watching the final season of The Bear, and we're watching it.
Is that all we have to say?
I think that we're watching it. I think that we are watching it.
I heard that people liked it.
I fell off. I'm watching it, and it is. I'm not watching it, but I also have nothing to say about it,
and that's all I have to say.
That's it. Yeah, I feel like it is existing. It is not as good as it used to be, and that's okay. They're still doing a great job. It's just not what it was, and that's okay.
Yeah. I fell off in season 3, and I told you now I'm in a bear hole where in order to get to season 4, I would have to finish
Suffer
season 3.
The bear. You got to get through the bear and have the bear. Yeah.
And it's not even that I don't want to watch it. It's just that, you know, my time is limited. But I'm happy for them. But yeah, Bear seems like one of those things that if it had stopped after season 2, people would talk about it just like a flawless television series, like a perfect,
like a Fleabag. You know what I mean? Like it's why I just throw on Fleabag randomly and I'll just slurp up both of the seasons just at any point. You know why? I live to be sad. I love to be upset and I love to think about getting a guinea pig. And so those two things, you put them together, you watch Fleabag. But MJ, those two things, you put them together, you watch something you're gonna freaking love. Tom Holland preparing to be Fred Astaire in a biopic. MJ. Oh.
The emotional roller coaster I had upon reading this article, because my initial reaction was yes. And then I had a small thought that when he said he wants to learn to do all the tap dancing, I did have a thought that we have talked about at length on page 7.
Ping pong? Are you worried about a ping pong situation?
It's more just that, like, we talked about this a lot, I think, when La La Land came out, where it's like, nice to do a musical with two very famous stars who then had to learn to dance, but what if we did a musical that featured people who have spent their life learning to dance? I think that I love Tom Holland, love Fred Astaire, love the idea of a biopic. Bring Fred Astaire to today's youth. I love this. But when he's like, I'm going to learn all the dances.
Yeah, because he's not using a double. He does not want to use a double. He's like, I'm doing all of the tapping myself.
He does not want to use a double, and I love that for him. However, there is just a part of me, and you know I'm not a hater because you'd all do anything for that man. But I was just like,
you're not a hater.
I was just like, you think that you can just learn to dance like Fred Astaire? Like, what? Like, it's not like losing 30 pounds for a movie or like learning to play ping pong for a movie. Like, Fred Astaire is a once-in-a-lifetime talent. And
I mean, to be fair, his ping pong had to be like the best ping that could pong. So, I mean, it is, you know.
And he did ping and he did pong. And I still stand by the fact I think that movie sucked. But I love this for Tom Holland. I kept laughing about our joke from the live show where Gene Kelly begged his wife not to let anyone do a biopic of him. And so we don't know how Fred Astaire would have felt, but I think that actually the casting is great. I think Tom Holland has that like delightful little dandy, joyful vibe that I think he will be great. I just think it's very funny to think that you can learn to tap dance like Fred Astaire the way that actors pride themselves on learning, to speak a couple of sentences of Spanish or whatever that they do for movies,
Yeah, it is. But he's starting now, and what we do know is that he said he's not putting out a movie for a couple of years. So I feel like this is him. This maybe is the beginning of a beautiful tap relationship for him. Like maybe this is him getting really into tap. Like think about him during Umbrella, MJ. I remember his dancing.
You're right. He is a great dancer.
Yes.
You're right.
And I think that like it's not like he's coming from nothing and no background. Right. And like if you think it's like the fluidity of being a Spider-Man, you know what I mean? Like you have to flip.
You're right. And also, I live on Earth, and I understand that if you just
live on Earth, MJ. Thank you for reminding yourself.
I know it's naive of me to be like cast a Broadway actor who nobody knows who is a very talented tap dancer because that's not what movies are, and that's fine, and that's not what La La Land was, and that's fine. And so I think that if we're gonna do this, we should do it with Tom Holland. It is a yeah from me, dog. It's just that I did go on a roller coaster. It's a yeah from you,
dog.
It's a yeah from me, dog. It is.
Oh, wait. I forgot. Tom Holland was in Billy Elliot, the musical.
Was he? I thought they were talking about the other guy because there's another Fred Astaire movie.
This is Holland began his career starring in the title role of Billy Elliot, the musical. Following a brief run as the protagonist's best friend, Michael Caffrey. He's been dancing.
You're right.
MJ, okay. He's been dancing.
You're right, because the other guy who played Fred Astaire in that other movie was also in Billy Elliot. So this is just a Billy Elliot to Fred Astaire pipeline. But okay, all right, I take it back. He's a good dancer.
Wow, and now we're excited. Look at this full circle moment that we've just had.
Tom Holland will be as good at tap dancing as Fred Astaire.
You've heard it here first, folks. You can put that on our tombstone pizza.
It is stellar casting. I cannot think of anybody else who I would be as thrilled to be him as Tom Holland.
He is a pint-sized joy. What a wonderful boy he is. Like I know that I shouldn't liken him to Champ the dog, but I feel the same way about Tom Holland as I do about Champ the dog. And yes, I'm talking about Rob, producer of Last Podcast on the Left's dog. And I love both of them in the same capacity.
Yeah, he's a short king. He's just a cutie patootie. Yeah, I get it.
The fact that, like, for me, because MJ, even though we shouldn't have, we both loved Tobey Maguire as Spider-Man, and the fact that I can love Tom Holland as much as Spider-Man means a lot.
It does mean a lot. For those of us who were in high school when the Sam Raimi Spider-Mans came out, it's hard to top Tobey Maguire as Spider-Man. Even though he is now a disturbing 50-year-old, I still love that version of Tobey Maguire. Yeah. Now I cannot let this show run out, Jackie, but without talking about the World Cup halftime show. And I'm assuming that you did not watch it. But
I've seen some clips from the World Cup halftime because you were continuing on with your balls, right? You were having a ball time.
I didn't watch as much World Cup as I wished I had, but there was I live above a store, and the store was projecting it on a bed sheet for weeks. And so I would often go downstairs and watch it with the other people on the street watching it. And so I watched some World Cup. I wasn't super invested, but I love the World Cup. You know, I love a collective experience. But yes, for the final,
you do
my
love
whole
a
family
experience.
Love
just imagine everyone
experience.
just around a big trough, just like MJ loves this.
We're doing it together. If we're doing it together, it's meaningful. But my whole family was watching the final, and we were all surprised that there even was a halftime show, because there wasn't usually halftime shows during the other games. And a lot of people, including my European friends, describing it as a European's idea of what an American halftime show should be.
Yes.
It was a real hodgepodge. Justin Bieber is there doing kind of a bit. Kermit and Piggy are there for absolutely inexplicable reasons.
Almost reminiscent of the Creed halftime show. And maybe this is bringing it, like, for some, like on Jackin' every Friday, I think that we might watch the Creed halftime show probably once every 6 weeks, I want to say. And it is really firmly in my mind of talk about a hodgepodge of, man, they just were like, I don't know, bring some aerialists in here. I don't know, bring another marching band in here. I don't know.
Yeah.
But this was with huge names. So this is like, this is Madonna, this is BTS, this is Bieber. And
I missed Madonna was so quick, you blink and you'll miss her. And then BTS is there, and of course Shakira, and Shakira also just had a huge concert at Atlantic Barclays, which like took over. There's like a bunch of very cute videos of everyone on the Q train singing Waka Waka and stuff. Like everybody came out for Shakira. Shakira danced with these wonderful dancers called the Ghetto Kids, and also the PS22 Chorus was there, which is a public school choir from Staten Island. Who, No, I know you don't like children singing. Okay, this isn't for you. This is for the listeners. You guys have probably seen their YouTube videos. They've been it was like the teacher there started like 20 years ago and there was no arts program, and he like built up this
it's
very vibrant,
it's inspirational. Have the kids sing on it.
Vibrant choir of New York City public school kids. So that I liked. You know, I love Shakira, but it was just a surprise. Everybody who appeared on camera, it was a surprise. It was
the fact that it went from Madonna into transitioning into of Animal playing the drums from Muppets to playing it for Seven Nation Army, for the White Stripes Seven Nation Army. So it's like that was
White
the
Stripes
transition.
Jason Sudeikis was there pretending to be Ted Lasso.
Just because they're like, soccer.
Yes.
Yeah, that show's not on anymore. Bring the Muppets. Yeah, it's just, and also this apparently was like, I love that this article made sure that everyone knew that it was curated. The whole halftime show was curated by Coldplay frontman Chris Martin. So this is Chris Martin's vision for a halftime show, by the way.
That's the most alarming part about it. When I'm like reading about the halftime show and everyone's like, Coldplay's halftime show. And I'm like, what were you talking about? I know there were a lot of people there, but I didn't see Coldplay there.
I didn't see having affairs? Is like all I can think. It's like now Coldplay is synonymous with affairs. So like, is this them trying to break that stigma?
I really feel like in the way that like if you watch like a cooking challenge show and they're like you have to like spin a wheel and whatever 4 ingredients you get, you have to like make something out of it. This really felt like just spin a wheel and get 5 celebrities. Doesn't matter if they're puppets, and just bring them in. You know, they didn't really utilize the Muppets to their potential,
and especially because Coldplay then finishes out the set. So you curated this. So this was like to you, your perfect like pre-show to bring you up to perform. So Madonna and the White Stripes and the Muppets and BTS, and they're just like, we're really trying to hit. Oh yeah, that's what it is. Oh, we're trying to hit the spectrum of America. Is that what they were trying to do?
I guess, yeah. For a global game whose whole idea is this is about
that
the
America
whole
is
world.
not a part of at that moment, right? It's like
Right,
they were
not
already kicked
not
out.
one of the teams.
So
not one of the teams. But I guess because it was taking place in America, we're just going to choose 6 random pop stars out of a hat. That goes to show I did not even notice Coldplay was there because I was too busy reeling from all the surprises of the various people there. And I was really excited about the PS22 chorus. But yeah, just wanted to shout out the World Cup halftime show. You know that Shakira can save any show she's a part of. But you know that I like seeing Justin Bieber perform, but it was a head scratcher. It was a head scratcher for sure.
I just it's also weird that apparently they announced the halftime performance in May with a video of Elmo and Cookie Monster and Kermit and Miss Piggy and Animal. So it's just like,
they don't even exist in the
what
same.
are you talking about?
I know that Sesame Street Muppets do interact with regular Muppets. We see it in the Muppet movie.
Sure.
But that seems, again, like a hodgepodge. They don't hang out together.
Sorry, just real quick. You want to talk hodgepodge? You know I don't give an H, but that Avengers, the newest trailer, I don't know if Gideon made you watch it.
Not yet.
Yikes. They
literally,
no. They literally like, find anything, any media, anything that has ever fought another thing before, and we're putting them all in it. They're like the X-Men are there. Like, I'm surprised Elmo's not there. Like, I feel like I wouldn't be surprised if out the blip fucking Big Bird comes back in and he's just like, now I'll send you to outer space. And he's like, I imagine we're gonna get to that point because it looks like and I usually, I've even said this, like, I usually can't know if one of them is going to be good or if they're not going to be good. But
I have no idea if they're good. They all,
if
they all
you
seem
watch
just fun.
this trailer, even you would be like, I don't think that looks good.
Really?
It's yikes. It really is.
Okay.
They're just like, what if we get every person that's ever made $1? And they're putting all their money into that.
I gotta, and I will watch it now.
You have to watch it with Gideon just to at least hear, because Gideon's probably still gonna, we're all still gonna see it.
That's the thing. He watches anything. When it comes to superhero movies, Gideon's just thrilled to be invited. He just really, like, Holden has all these like very analytical takes on each superhero movie, and that's his type of nerd. And Gideon's type of nerd is just like, I watched it and I was doing 10 other things at the same time, and it was fun. Unless it's like a Spider-Man movie, we're sitting down and we're watching.
Oh, we got it. We got to get those Spider-Mans in us, because I start hearing the Spider-Man's actually like much stronger than like a lot of the other. And I'm just like, oh yeah, okay, yeah. All right, wow. I'm happy. Yeah. I'm happy for their happinesses, MJ, and I'm happy for our happinesses. And where do our happinesses lie? Kijiepa. And I want to say thank you, Kijiepa, for teaching us all today a little bit about communication and being able to open up even when you're just hanging with your boys. Now, I will throw it out there because we didn't bring it up earlier that Kijiepa, I think, I think he turned to religion as part of this, which I do think but he's not shoving it down our throats. And now all he's doing is he's just making Jimmy Stewart biopics for some reason with a religious company. So, but we're not going to think about that. We're just we're going to support you, Mr. Fantasy. We are here for you, and we're proud of you, and you're doing a great job.
Yes, go KJ Appa. And go Dylan Sprouse. Good Dylan Sprouse. Nice guy. And
that other guy, whoever the fuck your name is, couldn't give a fuck about you.
Nice guy, though. Nice guy.
Wish you the best, though. And you know what, MJ? I wish you the best. And I wish everyone out there listening to us the best right back in your mouths. And if you want more in your ears and in your eyes, get your ass over to Page 7 Patreon. That is patreon.com/page7. And also you can come check us out with your eyes. youtube.com/@page7pod. Come see us right now. I mean, honestly, speaking of Muppets, I didn't even reference my Henson Master of Muppets shirt on. That is a mashup of a Metallica shirt and a Jim Henson shirt. And I love this shirt. So
that's a really, really, really good shirt.
Thank you. I'm Master of the Muppets, y'all. And MJ, thank you so much. I know that we can find you at MJKLCat. We know this. But is there anything else you need to push anything today?
No, man, you can email us, page7podcast@gmail.com. We love hearing from you guys.
Yeah.
Thank you all for sticking with us and joining us over at the YouTube. I know many of you guys listen while driving and you can't watch YouTube, but
join us
those
on
of you
the YouTube if
going
you can.
over, subscribing, and it's great to hear from you. And so, we are grateful for you guys.
Also, hopefully soon we're going to be having more YouTube exclusive content, so you don't want to miss out on that. So get on over there. It costs nothing to subscribe, and then you'll find out when new stuff comes out. So go give it a follow over on youtube.com/page7pod. And everybody have a beautiful week. We will be back next week with Page 7 with, I believe, Jake Young.
Ooh.
And let us sing the song, MJ. Pot'll be better,
Second
second time around. KGF edition.